Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. In today's session, we are going to make clock flowers. Now that's just my own term. We're going to use some scrap paper. Remember I showed you in one of the previous sessions what my scrap box is looking like, and it's time to work off some of that. So what we're going to use is some scrap paper so that we can make these flowers. A circle punch or two, already some circles that are punched out, could be various sizes, and then you just adjust the leaf size according to your scrap pieces as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So here we've got some little bits and pieces of previous projects that I had overestimated usage for, and I've got some extra pieces, so there are plenty. There's some dictionary pages, and of course some older vintage type paper, so all kinds. What are we going to do? I don't have a prototype, so what I'm going to I want to just get it more or less in size. We need some glue, whether that is liquid glue or a glue stick, it doesn't matter. These ones are perfect. Look at this, right, two little strips like that, and then we've got some this size, we've got another strip there, and then a few pieces of that sort, and truly smaller scraps. Now, if directionality is bothering you, then you can adjust this for yourself. So I've got some paper here in front of me. Basically what we're going to do is, you can decide the length of this. I'm going to just use this. I'll trim these two down. A pair of scissors will be useful. I'm going to just more or less cut this into the same width as that. For each flower you need 12 petals. So we've got 4, 5, 6 already. It will just be a little bit short, but we can try it. Now, cut this in half, so you have 12 pieces, and then just keep it all together. We are going to trim. I'll just put that just out of the way for a moment, so that we've got some space on the workbench. And then, maybe if you had some sort of a circle punch, you can do this easily, just so, but it doesn't even have to be perfect. If you would want it perfect, you can trim it all down to the same size, because these ones in front are short, and then you're just going to take it from there and round the one side. And if you do all 12 at the same time, these will be perfect. Now, that's almost like a nail shape, and then we need to get a little thing. Now, I'm going to use a craft circle. This is again me using my container. I had a session where I was playing, made a few things, and you can see that soon enough on my channel. But if you follow me now, you know that I normally have circles incorporated in some of my projects. Not too much glue. You can put the glue down on the circle if you want, and then just going to start with 12 o'clock, then 6 o'clock, then 3 and 9, and we're going to add this in that manner, not too far away or too deep into the circle, just right on the edge. Yes, you can first ink the edges. You can ink it afterwards. That's what I will do, just to give that little bit of dimension. And there we have that. Now we're going to start in the middle. And yes, these petals are quite wide. You can do it narrower. We'll do the next one a whole lot thinner. So we're just going to put petal in there. Let's just straighten it up a little bit so that it's more or less centered. And then this side, yes, I know some people are using book pages as glue pages to glue things on. I can just imagine how many pages you actually use to get that sorted. So there we have that. And now we can put one in between there, maybe. Maybe we would need more, like this. When it's smaller, it's easier to, or thinner, the petals a bit thinner, we need one more, basically, or two more. So I'm going to just quickly I'll use these ones, just get directionality sorted, and just more or less the same length, sort of like that, and just trim that. So for this one I use 14 because I did not keep to the placement. And yes, you can add as many or as little petals as you would want. So there we have it. We're going to turn this over now. Bit glue down there. This one needs a bit of glue on that side. It will bother me that it will lift up. And there we have our flower. Now this one was that middle part where we had cut some of the scrap paper for the previous circle clusters, but there we have the flower. So let's continue. I want to just ink this one some vintage photo. Maybe we should add 2 more there. It now looks a bit funky that there's not enough or not the same amount. Let's do that one. That's just me now. Instead of having 12, we would have 14 here. And because of that, this now looks not the same as the others. And we'll put 1 more there, this side. So for the next one, we will just make this thinner. It will just be easier. If this print bothers you, I will first just ink the edges like this. Not going to ink the petals. You can if you want to. I just want that little bit of definition and vintage feel to the end. This one is a little bit too far out for my liking. Look at it, just paper. You can fix it however you want. And a little bit of ink there, just to get that bit. Now let's get something in the middle. That looks good. You can use a button, you can use a brad, you can do an eyelet in the middle. I just want a tiny one that has already got an inked edge, some text. And there we have a lovely little flower. The centers can be a different color, it can be yellow. We've got those yellow dots. I use some white labels, sticker labels, that I just got it with vintage photo. Like so, that I use, which is a little bit more alternate so that you can see it better. Different variations of color, darker on the side, lighter going that way. So just simple ones. It was the white that was on the side that I just colored, and I find it more useful than just the stark white. So there we have one flower. I'll keep the ink to one side, and let's do another one. This time around, I want to use thinner pieces. So I'm going to use these ones. We need, there'll be about 3, 6 from there. So let's see. I'm going to cut this more or less all the same size, just so that it's not bothering me. Now for this, in half, more or less there. Now you can't just cut it in half. It now needs to, well, if I do it half and half, it should actually work. So we will have more. Let's do that one the same first, in half. And then we will cut each one again in half with the same process as before. So we will have more petals now, but it's not a waste. We can make another flower. Now for this, just keep it together again. I just trim it in one shot, so these petals are a bit longer. If you do it in the same shot, they are all shaped the same size, but we know that flower petals aren't always exactly the same in nature, so it might just look. And this one's the bow. I'll do all at the same time, which will probably be impossible, but I'm going to try nonetheless. There we have that. So now we have our tiny petals. I'm not sure how many there are at this point in time, and I'm going to use, say for instance, this one. It's both sides, blocks print. It's tiny notebook page that I used. Now for this, it will be easier to just get it where it should be. 12 and then at 6. Try to just line it up more or less the same, and then 3 and 9. If you find your petals aren't round enough or they slipped when you cut them, you can trim them. So we've got 12 and 6 and 9 and 3 done. So you can start at 1 and 2 or wherever, and you're just going to fill in the middle part of that. And this is why I call it the clock flowers, because there's a petal on every hour, if that is making sense at all. So eventually we should have 12 petals on the flower. And yes, some of the text is upright, others are not. They're upside down. If it bothers you, you can fix your directionality before you actually cut your petals out. And there we have it. So we can turn it over now, and there is our beautiful flower. Now let's get something in the middle, maybe like that, or a darker one will be perfect. So let me just rummage through here and just find a little circle so that we still have that. You can keep it to browns. You can do this very same thing with gift wrap or gift bag. Sometimes you find a gift bag is torn by the time you get the gift out. Maybe it was a boxy something in the inside and it torn the gift bag. We would discard those. You can now use that to make flowers. So again, let's just ink this one. Get the ink blending tool. Again, I'm just doing the ends, not the whole petal. You can, however, go ahead and ink it. You can doodle on here. If Zentangles is your thing, you do you. You find this needs a bit of paint, you can do alcohol inks on here, you can do anything, water paint. It is entirely up to you. I will continue to make a few flowers off camera, but there we have this one of today and this one. You can do it smaller if you use a tiny little one with petals about this width. They would also be gorgeous, and this can then be used on any project. I think it will be gorgeous as a bucket also. I think this one needs a little bit of a spacing there. I think I should have just moved it a tiny little bit, but there you have it. It's still gorgeous. Thank you for joining me today. Go try making some clock flowers for yourself. If you do, tag Wower Crafting on social media. If you want to see more content like this, please give me a thumbs up so that I can share my videos with more people. And as always, I'll appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. If you have done so already, thank you for being here with me. As always then, as well, if you haven't done so either, please hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I upload new content. See you back soon. Goodbye.